What's the nicest thing you've done for someone? 1. I came home late on a delayed flight and there was an old woman sobbing at the bus depot because no one was there to take her home. This was in the middle of a bad snowstorm at 1 a.m., so no one wanted to drive. I picked her up and drove out of my way to drop her off. Had to drive an extra half hour in the worst conditions ever, but it all worked out. 2. I switched from one type of insulin to another. After switching, I had about 30 vials of Novolog left over that I didn't need. We had a guy come out and do electrical work on our house, and I saw that he wore an insulin pump. I asked him what kind of insulin he used. He said Novolog. I asked him if he wanted my leftover, non-expired, still sealed vials. He said sure. I imagine he was thinking that it was going to be only a few. I loaded them all up into a Walmart bag and gave them to him. I don't know if he had to pay out of pocket or anything for his, but even if he did, the total cost to him for it could have well exceeded $1,500 in just co-pays alone. He was nearly in tears when I told him to keep it all. 3. Knew someone at school who was raised by a single parent. Said parent develops cancer, and my friend, who had been obviously depending on her, became utterly depressed. Couldn't cook meals, finish schoolwork, do sport, most of his time was dedicated to his parent. I cooked/bought meals for him, helped him catch up on all his missed classes, organized stuff to get him outside, etc. He's doing better now, so is his mom, although we don't talk anymore. Still, it felt worthwhile. 4. I helped a waitress at a restaurant I frequent. After a few months of patronage, I knew most of the staff and was on a first-name basis with them. I learned that she was working 6 days per week, 8 to 10 hours per day, and going to school full-time, 5 days per week, 6 hours per day, plus she traveled by bus between 2 and 3 hours per day. A quick bit of mental math. On a bad day she could spend 19 hours with her obligations, not counting bathing, eating, or homework. And after she paid for her tuition, she only had 10% of her paycheck left over. As I have no family nor children of my own, I decided to pay for her university. She has since quit her job and is focusing on her studies. She regularly sends me updates about her classes, and I'm happy to report she's getting straight A's as a psychology major. 5. Once I found a girl curled into a ball in the subway stairs. She had been having coffee with her friend, and in the time she had reached the station she got a call that her friend had been hit by a car and passed away. She was in shock. I stayed with her for half an hour, simply being there so she wasn't alone, until she recovered enough to go on her way. 6. Someone dropped their lotto ticket and I returned it to them. They won $400 and gave me half. 7. An old buddy of mine was having trouble with his graphic design homework, and I was a year ahead of him in university. So he comes to me asking for help because he knows he isn't that good. I proceed to go to his room and sit there for a solid 6 hours helping him understand fundamentals, learn hotkeys, and answer any of his questions. The next day he says he is now passing, and his teacher is proud of how much he has improved. He gives me a burrito, and we call it even. 8. This one sticks out. I was at a gas station roughly 11 p.m. on a weeknight. The young girl in front of me had the counter filled with junk food and soda. Basically the stuff to keep you going on a long night. Anyways,